Imagine this exact moment. You are sitting on a comfortable couch, watching an exciting movie or a fascinating documentary in English. You'll have the English subtitles turned on at the bottom of your screen, and everything feels absolutely wonderful. You understand every single joke. You follow the plot effortlessly, and you feel a deep wave of confidence about your language progress. You tell yourself that you are actively practicing your listening skills, but then you decide to perform a small experiment. You reach out your hand, pick up the remote control, and turn the subtitles off. Instantly, the clear world collapses. The distinct English words you were just understanding suddenly morph into a fast, muddy wall of continuous noise. It feels like the actors are talking at double speed, chewing their consonants and smashing full sentences into one long, confusing sound. Your mind desperately tries to grab onto a familiar phrase, but you fall behind in less than 3 seconds. You miss one word, your concentration breaks, and your brain completely checks out. You feel deep frustration, exhaustion, and a heavy sense of self-doubt. You ask yourself the same painful question over and over again. Why can I understand English perfectly when the text is on the screen? But the moment the subtitles disappear, I become completely deaf. Is your hearing bad? It's your memory failing you. No, it is not. You do not have a problem with your ears or your basic intelligence. The real reason you struggle is that you have walked straight into a dangerous, invisible biological trap. Your brain has not been practicing listening at all. It has been using a clever shortcut to trick your conscious mind. Today, we are going to travel deep inside your skull to look at the remarkable neuroscience of vision. Discover exactly why the subtitle trap forces your brain to stop listening, and reveal the automatic biological system to train your ears for real-world speech. Hi, welcome back to English Joyride. Here, we don't just teach you standard dictionary lists or cool classroom formulas. We explore the deep, beautiful science of how your mind and body actually process language, so you can stop wasting your valuable energy and achieve true fluency naturally. Every single week, we break down complex neurological and cognitive research from world-class laboratories, and we turn it into simple, clear English that anyone can understand and use immediately to transform their learning habits. Today's journey is going to completely challenge the traditional way you watch videos and movies. We are going to look at the hidden electrical battle that happens between your eyes and your ears, examine a powerful psychological law called the Cola Vita effect, and map out the exact sequence your brain cells use to delete sound signals to save power. Before we unlock these incredible hidden secrets of your mind together, make sure to click subscribe now. Why now? Because next week, we are releasing an exclusive biological blueprint on how your brain coordinates your memory tracks to speak English fluidly during high-stress job interviews, and the precise daily habit to eliminate hesitation without freezing. You absolutely do not want to miss out on that specific lesson. To understand why subtitles paralyze your listening growth, we must first look at a fundamental rule of human biology. Your brain is an incredibly conservative machine. Even though your brain only makes up 2% of your total body weight, it consumes over 20% of your body's total daily oxygen and chemical fuel. Because it uses so much energy, your nervous system is in a constant, aggressive state of survival optimization. It always hates wasting energy on difficult tasks if there is a faster, easier shortcut available in the immediate environment. Processing spoken English through your ears is an incredibly heavy, energy-draining program for an adult mind. Your auditory cortex has to receive a chaotic stream of sound waves, decode the blending syllables, identify hidden word boundaries, and calculate meanings in milliseconds. It is a high-speed mental sport that burns your chemical fuel at an alarming rate. Reading printed text through your eyes, however, is a much simpler, more comfortable process for your brain. Written words have beautiful, clear white spaces before and after them. They do not move. They do not have fast accents. And they have clear boundaries. Your visual system can process this data with total structure and minimal effort. When you turn on subtitles while watching an English video, you are presenting your brain with two competing streams of information at the exact same millisecond. A difficult sound stream and an easy visual text stream. Your survival-focused brain looks at this situation, calculates the energy cost, and makes a cold, automatic decision to save daily power. It quietly hands over the entire workload to your visual cortex at the back of your head, while aggressively turning down the electrical volume to your auditory neighborhood. Your conscious mind thinks it is listening and reading together. But deep under the floorboards of your thoughts, your brain has completely stopped listening and is purely reading the movie. This automatic dominance of vision over sound is a powerful, universal biological law that neuroscientists call the Colavita effect. Through extensive laboratory experiments, researchers discovered that when humans receive a visual signal and an auditory signal at the exact same time, the brain will almost always process the visual signal first and ignore the sound wave. Even when the person is actively trying to pay attention to both, your eyes are naturally aggressive bullies, and your ears are quiet, passive listeners. When subtitles are running on a screen, the Colavita effect snaps shut like an iron cage. Your visual cortex consumes almost all of your working memory power. This passive process creates a dangerous illusion of competence. Because you understand the story of the movie perfectly through your eyes, your brain triggers a healthy spike of dopamine. It tricks you into feeling a false sense of security. You tell yourself, "Wow, my English is getting so good. Oh, but this is a psychological trap." You are visually rich, but auditorily bankrupt. The very millisecond you turn off the text, the shortcut is gone. Your real auditory networks have no maps to follow. Your system overloads, and you freeze. To understand the severe structural damage this trap causes to your language, progress. Let us look at a beautiful analogy from daily life. Imagine you want to learn how to walk through a thick, dark, and wild forest without ever getting lost. On your first day, a professional guide walks next to you and hands you a bright, modern digital map on a smartphone. The map shows you exactly where to step, highlights every single turn, and warns you about every hidden rock. You follow the phone screen carefully, walk for 5 miles, and arrive at the other side of the forest safely. It feels incredibly easy, comfortable, and fast. You do the same route every day for a full year, always keeping your eyes glued to the smartphone screen. You feel like an expert woodsman. But on one rainy morning, you walk into the forest, and your phone battery suddenly dies. The screen goes completely black. You look up, and you realize you have no idea where you are. You look at the trees, but they all look identical. You look at the ground, but you cannot find any path. You stand there in a state of absolute panic, feeling completely lost and helpless. Why did you fail? You walked that exact road 300 times, yet you don't know a single turn. You failed because you were never learning the forest. You were only learning the screen. Your eyes were doing all the work, so your brain never needed to build internal navigation maps. It never looked at the real shapes of the rocks or counted the natural landmarks. This is exactly what you are doing to your ears when you watch English videos with subtitles. The text is your digital smartphone screen. You think you are practicing navigating the language, but you are just following the visual guide. Your brain leaves the sound files floating around as unrecognized junk, because it knows the visual cheat code will always deliver the answer without any hard mental labor. Most students make a tragic and highly frustrating mistake when they realize they cannot understand native speakers without subtitles. They assume that their failure is caused by a small vocabulary size. They think, I froze today because my hard drive is empty. I need to memorize more rare dictionary words. So they go back to their desk, buy a heavier textbook, and spend hours memorizing long columns of text. But they are completely treating the wrong disease. They are putting more files into a hard drive when the audio player is completely broken. Learning more vocabulary. Words will not help your fluency if your auditory cortex cannot recognize those exact words when they change their physical shapes in the air. The bottleneck is never a lack of library data. The bottleneck is a total absence of auditory processing maps inside your short-term networks. To understand how an auditory map is built, let us look at how native speakers actually manipulate language in reality. Spoken English is not a series of isolated blocks with clear spaces between them. In natural, spontaneous speech, words are a continuous, unbroken river of acoustic energy to make speech flow faster and save physical energy. A native speaker's tongue and lips perform radical structural modifications. They link endings together, weaken vowels into tiny sounds, and completely delete consonants, a phenomenon known as connected speech. When a native speaker says a phrase like, "What are you going to do about it?" they do not pronounce 8 neat units. Their mouth produces a single blended sound wave that sounds like, "What you gonna do about it?" If your brain has only trained its visual networks through reading subtitles, it expects to see those 8 separate blocks. When the raw stream of connected sound hits your ear without text boundaries, your auditory cortex fails to perform speech segmentation. It cannot find the entries. It overloads your working memory conveyor belt, triggers a security panic, and shuts down your awareness. To bridge this painful gap permanently, you must stop treating listening as a passive entertainment activity where you just let sounds bounce off your eardrum while your eyes read a guide. Passive listening does absolutely nothing to upgrade your brain cells or grow new synapses. If you leave a movie running with subtitles, your visual cortex will always choose the easy road and ignore the acoustic data. To force your neurons to build strong, concrete highways for connected speech, you must shift your routine to a scientific method called active auditory mapping. Active auditory mapping means forcing your brain to feel the slight strain of decoding sounds by themselves first, and then using text purely as a calibration tool to reveal the hidden shortcuts. This active mental effort changes the physical structure of your brain, wrapping a protective insulating layer around your auditory pathways so they can process real English under intense time pressure without crashing. This realization leads us to a highly practical, biology-aligned framework designed specifically for busy adult learners. We call it the Joyride Acoustic Uncoupling Method. This method requires no special software, fits easily into any busy lifestyle, and takes less than 10 focus minutes a day. It is engineered to perform 3 major neurological breakthroughs. Strip away your visual dependency, force your auditory cortex to perform speech segmentation automatically, and permanently update your internal sound maps for fast connected speech. The entire framework is built on a simple, low-stress 3-step routine that you can easily start practicing tomorrow morning using any short English video clip that includes an accurate text transcript. Let us explore step 1 of the framework, which is called the blind decoding sprint. Pick a very short piece of authentic English audio or video, roughly 30 to 40 seconds long. A clip from a movie, a talk show interview, or a documentary works perfectly. Close your transcript completely. Turn your eyes away from the screen, look at a blank wall, and close your eyes. Listen to the 30-second clip completely blind, using only your ears. Your processing engine will instantly feel a slight strain. It will struggle to find the word boundaries, and certain phrases will sound like a giant, muddy wave of noise. Do not panic, and do not look at the answer. Listen to the blind clip 3 times in a row, trying your absolute best to guess where one word ends and the next word begins purely from the acoustic signals. You are forcing your auditory cortex to do the heavy lifting, waking up the dormant networks that subtitles used to paralyze. Next is step 2, which is called visual calibration. After listening to the clip 3 times completely blind, you are now allowed to look at the text transcripts or turn on the subtitles. Play the video one more time while reading the words carefully with your eyes. This is the exact moment when the wow factor happens inside your head. Your brain looks at the text and realizes that the muddy wave of sound you heard earlier was actually made of 5 simple, basic English words you already know perfectly. For example, your eyes see the text, "I should have told you," and your memory links it straight to the blended sound, "I should have told ya," that confused your ears a moment ago. This is called auditory calibration. You are not learning new dictionary data. You are taking an old face from your visual library and introducing its real voice to your Giak neighborhood. Your brain notes the exact shortcuts the native speaker used, instantly updating its sound maps for future use. Finally, we reach step 3, which is called the production echo. Close the text transcript once again, shut your eyes, and play the 30-second audio clip one last time. As you listen, try to repeat the sentences out loud, completely mimicking the exact music, the exact pauses, and the rising and falling pitch of the native speaker's voice. Do not think about the spelling of the words. Focus entirely on the physical vibration inside your throat and the movement of your mouth muscles. By speaking the patterns out loud immediately after calibrating your ears, you complete a powerful multisensory feedback loop. You are engaging your eyes, ears, and mouth organs at the same time, commanding your basal ganglia to permanently lock this new connected speech map into your long-term automatic habit storage, turning English into an effortless body reflex. Let us quickly review the magnificent science we trifled through today. First, subtitles are a dangerous biological shortcut that forces your visual cortex to bully and deactivate your listening networks to save daily energy. Second, this visual dominance is driven by a universal psychological law called the Colavita effect, which creates a false illusion of competence while keeping your real ears blind. Third, language fluency requires active speech segmentation, which traditional silent reading completely ignores, leaving your working memory table vulnerable to overload during fast native conversations. Ultimately, we introduced the Joyride acoustic uncoupling method, a highly effective 3-step daily routine built on the blind decoding sprint, visual calibration, and the production echo to systematically dissolve your visual dependency, lower your cognitive workload, and pave automatic physical reflexes for spontaneous communication. Knowledge without an immediate, practical action is just a temporary decoration for your head. Here is your concrete, realistic action plan for tomorrow morning to break the subtitle trap and activate your true listening power. Tomorrow, when you sit down to watch your favorite English video or lesson, I want you to perform a small, 5-minute biological experiment. Choose just one short scene, no longer than 30 seconds. Before you watch the whole video, turn off the subtitles completely and close your eyes. Listen to that 30-second scene twice in total darkness, forcing your ears to feel the slight strain of decoding the sounds alone. Here is the absolute golden rule for this morning experiment. After the second blind listen, turn the subtitles back on. Watch the scene once to calibrate your maps, and then speak those phrases aloud to the empty room from memory. Do not allow your inner critic to judge your pronunciation or your pauses. Force your mouth to physically execute the sound patterns. Commit to doing this simple task for exactly 7 consecutive days without breaking the chain. It will take less than 5 minutes of your daily schedule and cost you absolutely zero money. But by the end of the week, you will have sent a massive, irreversible signal to your neurological networks. you will have proven to your own prefrontal cortex that listening without visual crutches is a perfectly safe, natural, and beautiful body habit. You will soften the concrete of your auditory anxiety and unlock your mind's true capacity. As we close our magnificent discussion today, please carry this vital, comforting truth close to your heart. Feeling deaf or getting lost without subtitles is not a permanent proof of personal language weakness. And it never was. It is simply a temporary technical reaction caused by the visual-heavy, text-based learning methods you were exposed to in traditional schools. Every single fluent speaker you admire today once stood exactly where you are standing right now. Looking at movies with a dry throat, feeling completely frustrated by the fast sound blurs, and wondering why they couldn't understand a single phrase without reading it first. They didn't achieve ultimate success because they possessed a magical, superior anatomy of ears. They succeeded because they had the courage to turn off the text, face the initial silence, and allow their brains to map the natural patterns over time. Language is not a cold academic examination built to expose your flaws and make you feel small. It is a warm, living bridge designed to connect authentic human souls, share living life stories, and explore this magnificent planet together. Be incredibly proud of your deep dedication today. Trust the natural self-building intelligence of your neurological systems. And always remember to be completely kind to your mind. You are growing, transforming, and moving closer to total spontaneous fluency with every single sound wave you absorb. If this deep scientific journey helped you understand your own visual and auditory networks a little better today, please give this video a like and subscribe to our beautiful community. Your magnificent support allows us to continue creating these deep, science-based educational documentaries for passionate language learners all across this globe. Now, learning how to decode connected speech without subtitles is a massive victory for your ears. But how do you take those newly mapped sounds and train your tongue to speak them automatically without that frustrating internal translation loop? I have designed a complete, step-by-step masterclass on how to synchronize your thought centers with your vocal motor networks for spontaneous, effortless speech under real-world pressure. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now, and let us continue this beautiful ride together. See you on the next ride.